Alright, so what we're gonna do is the push-up today. I love this exercise because it promotes a lot of great things at the same time. Not only do you build upper body strength, core strength, you also teach how your scapula, so the shoulder blades in your back, to communicate with your rotator cuff, which is your glenohumeral joint, and they are actually interconnected. And if your scapulas are working properly when they're supposed to slide back and forth, which happens in the push-up, then that rotator cuff is going to end up being really happy and healthy. So this is why I like to throw in push-ups at any client's programs, because it's going to develop good proper movement patterns and healthy shoulders, which we all need. Now, a common mistake that a lot of people do when they set up for the push-up is having their hands too far out. So if you look at my shoulders and elbows, they're way past where my wrists are. You actually want to make sure your shoulders, elbows are right over top of the wrist. This will put you in a more efficient position to develop a better looking push-up. Now, the other cue I like to give is when people come down on their push-up is to lead with their chest and not with their head, because a lot of people, when they start fatiguing, they want to get lower, but they end up just using their head like a bobblehead. So with that cue in mind, you want to think of driving your chest to the ground and then back up, and not using your head to come forward. Now, the other thing that I see a lot is when people do push-ups, they almost flare their elbows too far out. And in reality, you want those elbows to come down to a 45-degree angle, so now you can actually use your lats to help you with the movement. Now, what I tell my clients to do is actually think of when you're putting your hands onto the floor, you're rotating them this way, almost like a clockwise position. The moment you do that, it's just like if you were deadlifting with a bar and trying to break it in half. That turns on your lats. So when you do that push-up, you want to think of turning these guys on, coming down, and then back up. Now, sometimes when people do push-ups, their wrists will hurt. And a simple test is just to see if you have enough wrist extension. If your wrist can't fully extend and you're putting all that pressure on a wrist that has poor mobility, that's not going to feel really great on that joint. So a simple solution is to grab dumbbells or even push-up bars. So now your hands are in a neutral position and you're able to go through the range of motion without any pain. And the last thing I'm going to bring up is low back pain. Sometimes what you'll find is when you're doing push-ups in your program, you might experience some low back pain. All this says is that your core is not strong enough to stabilize yourself in that movement. And a simple trick I get all my clients to do is simply just squeeze your bum. When in doubt, squeeze the glutes, and that's going to keep the core engaged a little bit more efficiently and effectively to make this push-up look perfect.